Yeah. Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to Reza Riffs with Keith Reza and Alan Lee, right here on LA Talk Radio.
Good afternoon, guys. This episode of Reza Riffs is brought to you by the Stand Up Magazine. You can download a copy of the Stand Up Magazine at www.thestandup.net. This month's issue has Theo Vaughn in it. If you download it, enter your email address, and in the subject, enter Reza, R-E-Z-A. Not only will you get a free copy of the magazine, but you'll be entered into a drawing to win a free trip to Las Vegas. Thanks for watching the show. All right, guys. Excellent.
Yeah, man.
You guys.
I'm here too.
Yeah. Let's introduce everybody because everyone's in studio today. My trusty sidekick, you all know, Alan Lee.
Yeah, man. How we all doing out there? We're out in the heat here in Sherman Oaks, and who knows? It's going to get hotter and hotter.
Yeah, it's pretty hot. And then
that was really good.
And then the second trusty sidekick, the beautiful Megan Jenkins.
Hey guys.
Hi, Megan.
Hello.
Yeah, we know her as MJ here because MJ Jenkins.
That's what Keith likes to call me.
That's what we like to call her. And then our guest. A very, very funny guy, Willie Barcena, guys.
Yeah.
How you doing, Willie?
What's going on, brother? Well, thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks for doing it, Val. I mean, it's really hard because, like, we communicate on Facebook, you know? So, like, you know, and this is my first time actually meeting you. I've seen you live before at the Ice House and stuff.
Right.
I've always been a huge fan, but, like, when I write somebody I've never met before, it's like very awkward. So I'm glad.
No, it always is, man. It always is. I mean, no matter who it is, you know, if you talk to somebody on the phone for a long time, and then you finally meet them, there's always like this weird thing because, you know, it's easy to converse with people when you don't have to see them.
Yeah.
You don't have to see them, and I guess we're all a bit socially awkward now because of social media and the phones and everything. That when we actually see real people,
it's like, whoa,
hello.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually diagnosed socially awkward. I have Asperger's, so I'm very like So like Facebook, that's why you probably got 1,000 messages before I got a response.
No. Hey, listen, I like people who are awkward, and you know, I don't like normal people. They kind of freak me out.
Yeah.
You know, what is normal? You know what I mean? Normal bugs me.
Yeah.
Because the people that are normal, to me, it's like it's people that follow the rules. You know, like completely without question, and those people bother me, man.
Yeah.
Because you gotta question everything in life. So I mean, everything. I question everything, man. You know, especially if it's government approved or you know, FDA approved. I'm like, there's some crap in there, man. So you're actually you're the new normal.
I thank you, man. I appreciate that. That's
think about all the guys who've been successful. You know, from Steve Jobs to Edison to Lincoln. All these guys were kicked out of school.
Yeah.
Because they were considered not to be bright, not to you know what I mean. All these people, you can go on and on with these geniuses. With Einstein, another one, perfect example, was kicked out of school.
Yeah.
You know, I guess they told his parents that because he couldn't talk till he was 5. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yeah,
very young. Talk about socially awkward.
Yeah, 5 years old.
So no, you're in the norm, man. You're in the good norm.
Yeah. I got a text question that said to go on Twitter because we have Twitter questions, but I don't want to do that right now. I want to talk about your special that is just now released on Netflix.
Yeah, you know what? I'm really excited. I mean, this is my third 1 hour. I had the 1 hour, and it was on Comedy Central a few years back. I mean, it was 7, but I wasn't happy with it.
Yeah.
You know, because I wasn't happy because. I don't want to dog Comedy Central, but the reality is that Comedy Central is corporate, man. It is extremely corporate. So, you know, when they play your material, you know, your 1 hour that you've been working on for years, they bleep stuff out, right? I mean, that's always the bite of the joke that they bleep out, and then they cut to commercial, so they cut it their way. It's not like you sat there with somebody that edits and goes, well, let's cut it here. No, you know what I mean? Like they grab your picture, man, and just I feel they mess up your art. That's how I felt about that one. Anyways, and then my second one, I was happier because it was on Showtime and they played it with everything, you know. Okay, and then you move to the last one, the one that's on Netflix right now.
Yeah.
I'm really happy. That one I did in a comedy club.
Yeah.
The two other ones were in theaters, and I just felt like it needed to be in a comedy club because people are less inhibited. You know, when you walk into a theater, I don't care how relaxed you want to feel. It's a theater, and you sit in theater seating, and it makes you behave a certain way. And then you're gonna laugh, but you're not gonna laugh like there's a beer in front of you or a drink, and you just let go. You know what I mean? You don't watch your neighbor. You don't. Do I laugh goofy? Am I moving too much?
It's a real audience.
Yeah, it's a real audience,
Yeah.
and I wanted to get that flavor, man. And you saw the special yesterday. You said so.
I watched it. I watched it last night.
Yeah.
And because here's the thing, I watch a lot of comedy. You know what I mean? Just like if I don't have shows or whatever, comedy's in my blood.
Right.
There's only 3 things I love, and comedy is number 1. You know what I mean?
I get it.
So
I get it.
That's all I do is watch comedy. And then I watched it, and I've seen you live before, and I just thought that special was literally the best one out on Netflix right now because it was so original, it was so funny, it was at a comedy club.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like I'm Christian, and like all the jokes I was like, oh my God, that's hilarious.
Well, I'm glad you're saying that, man, because I'm agnostic, leaning towards atheism, so I'll tell you, I was in Scottsdale, Arizona about 4 months ago, and there was this guy that in between shows on Saturday night, and he tells me, you know how people line up and you sell your merch. So you peddle your stuff, right? And then there's a guy there, and he's like, "Hey, man, can I tell you something? You were great, but if you just wouldn't have talked about God, man, you would be so much funnier." And I said, "Well, I respect your point of view, but this is my point of view."
Yeah.
He goes, "No, but you don't understand. You can't talk about God because I was going to kill myself, and God came into my life and saved me." All right, and then I'm going, "Okay, bro. I'm thinking I got another show, man. I don't want to get, what I mean? You get me depressed, right? I mean, who the hell wants to go on stage all depressed?" And he wouldn't let up, man, and he's like, "You don't understand what I'm trying to tell you." And he's like, he holds my arm, and he's like, "God saved my life, man. I was going to kill myself." And I'm looking at him like, "Try again, bro." Don't be a quitter, bro.
But I love that joke where you're like, "Oh, you need to find God," and you're all like, "I know." Tell him. But I didn't think any of that material was offensive to Christians at all.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something, brother. You're one of the few because more people walk out of my shows, I think, and they complain and they'll say that I'm gratuitous and that I'm whatever they want to label me. But it's just the weirdest thing because I think they're well written jokes, but I think here it is, and I've never used being Mexican American as a crutch, like ever. But I think in our society, when someone goes to see a club and they read, "Okay, here's a Mexican American from East LA," they have a prejudgment of what my material is going to be. They already got me pegged. Like, "Oh, I know what he's going to talk about."
Yeah.
And then I talk, and there's nothing. You know what I mean? Like my subjects aren't what the stereotypical Latino comedian talks about.
And that's another thing I was going to bring up because like when I went. I've seen you live several times, and each time I've seen you,
Did you see? Was I sober?
Yeah,
because there's always 2 shows. There's like, honestly, I always ask people, was it the drunk one or the sober one?
No, but each time.
Which one was it? Sober?
I think I've seen you at 7 o'clock and at 9 o'clock.
Okay, then the 9 o'clock I was. Yeah, I'm already buzzing.
So, but each time I've seen you, you've done different sets.
Yeah,
every single time. Yeah.
Well,
it's you just write a lot.
I'll tell you what, man. I've always wanted to do this for a living. Like 24 years ago. Believe it or not, 24 years ago, I had 2 jobs, right? And back then, I was making like $15 an hour. being a security guard at the LA Zoo.
Wow.
All right, and then you're thinking, well, why do they pay so much, right? Security guard at the zoo. Well, it's a city job.
Yeah.
You see, it's under the city, so it's not the regular security guard. You're under those guys get paid good. I don't know if you guys know that. Anybody that works for the city is making money.
Yeah, they make
awesome.
bank.
Yeah. So anyway, I remember I was that was one. And check out my second job, man. I at night that 3 days out of the week I arrested shoplifters for May Company. It's not even around anymore. They're called Macy's.
Yeah, right.
Macy's.
But I used to arrest shoplifters. I feel like such a bullshitter, man, because I was such a shoplifter myself as a kid. And here I am. I would get these kids shoplifting. They'd be like, "What's wrong with you, man? Huh?"
Well, that's why you're good at catching them. You knew what they were doing. You knew all the tricks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but I felt like a big hypocrite, man. I swear, I felt like an idiot because I'd be like, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. There's procedure when you arrest a shoplifter. And I think I had 3 years of probably arrested 4 guys. I had like the worst record.
Yeah.
I was the worst guy because I would let everybody go, but they would have to hear me talk. I think most of them were like, just arrest me, dude.
Did anyone ever try and pay you off?
Crackheads and because they don't want to go to jail. But like I said, I had the worst arrest record ever.
Yeah.
But going back to what I was telling you about the passion that you have for stand up, is that so one day it's a summer day, a hot summer day like this, right?
It's fucking hot.
Yes. So
Oh,
I
Lord.
was already doing open mic at the Comedy Store,
Yeah.
and I was like, man, I don't want to do this, I don't want to, like I'm walking around watching gorillas and stuff, and I'm like, dude, is this my life? Like watching monkeys, and then I just here's what did it. I was watching the orangutans, and the orangutan, it's totally different now. The exhibit is totally different. The orangutan used to be able to throw his basketball out like he's not supposed to, but these bastards are smart, man. But what the orangutan knew was that if he threw it out, I was gonna go get it. So people would watch me being the monkey's monkey. You know what I mean? And it was just humiliating because people would laugh like, "Oh, look at the security guard, the monkey's messing with them." And I remember like one of them, I just threw the ball back and I walked straight. It was like 3:00 in the afternoon, and I walked straight to the chief. We had a chief there, and I said, "Hey, chief, I quit, man." I quit. Right? It was like that was it. And then,
That was the saddest day in that monkey's life.
yeah. Okay, well, that
Why'd
was.
you leave?
Yeah, no, that was it. That was that, and I hadn't gotten a DUI the week or 2-3 weeks before, because I was going to be LAPD.
I remember that.
Yeah, I was going to be LAPD.
Wait, you remember that?
Yes, I was watching one of the
specials.
Yeah,
I talked about it, and then we actually go to the Rampart.
I saw it. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
and I saw
that
you
was my high
standing
school
there.
friend.
I saw you standing there with the
Yeah, I went to high school with them.
Yeah, cool.
They went Rampart, man.
I thought when he said he remembered that, like he was there, and I was
like he was
gonna,
hanging out.
I was gonna be like,
I was arrested.
I was gonna be like, how old are you, Alan Lee?
No, they showed the in the beginning of the Showtime special, the beginning of that one was
a little bio.
Yeah, a little bio, like a 3-minute bio, real fast clip. Me talking about how I ended up being a stand-up. But anyway, those are the 2 variables that made it happen. One of them is the DUI. I was all suicidal, right? Like, well, and then I go and the monkey's fucking with me, and that was the 2 things, bro. So that's
cool.
Okay, so I left. What I did was I left no no net, right? No safety net under me. So I had this little apartment in Silver Lake. It was across the street from the basketball courts. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Silver Lake, but it's across the street. And I remember, no more jobs. And now I was forced to just come up with ways to make money doing stand-up, man. One of them was I went around and I used to do South Central. I remember I used to hang around with Chris Tucker back then, and Guy Torrey.
D.L. Hughley?
Yeah, D.L. Hughley was there, but I didn't really hang around with them. I knew him, but didn't really. I knew not like Chris. Like I used to go pick up Chris.
Yeah.
but I see all the black rooms, man, how they used to work, you know, and I said, well, you know, I know a lot of people on the east side. Why don't I create a room the way these guys do it? So that's how I did it right away, off the bat. And I had all these young. Then there were open micers, man. I had Gabriel Iglesias, Fluffy.
Yeah.
I had Felipe Esparza, Jeff Garcia. I had.
I love Jeff.
One of the Wayans brothers. I used to hang around. I brought Sean down back in those days.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Anyways, I forced myself. I think at one point when I was 2 years into comedy, I must have been like 2 or 3 years into comedy. I had like 4 rooms, man.
Wow.
Like, and I just was hustling, man. And what got me in this thing of writing all the time. And it's funny you say that I write a lot, because I was on Jay Moore's podcast. Not as fancy as yours, right? You know, but I was on Jay's podcast, I think a year and a half ago, and I was featuring for Jay, right? Mm-hmm. And then and he goes, man, one of the things he says, Willie, one thing I remember about you was I went banging on your door, and this is how long ago it was, bro. He goes, I was banging on your door, like on a Saturday, Thursday night, whatever, after a show, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's go have some drinks. And I didn't want to drink. I would rather stay home and write.
Yeah.
You know, well, that's how long ago that was, you know, because that would never happen now. Wow. You know what I mean? Let's go have a drink, man. Forget this writing crap.
It's funny you mention Jay Moore, because Megan's mom used to wax his eyebrows or something.
That's not accurate at all.
What happened?
No, I waxed his mom's eyebrows
mom.
once. She was passing through, and it wasn't even. This is a stupid story.
We want to hear it.
No, because now we're in the middle of it.
Tidbits that people want to hear.
Like, I didn't even talk to her. Like, someone just said, that's Jay Moore's mom. And so as I'm waxing her eyebrows, I'm like, you know, so that's it. That's the story. Never saw her again.
Did you keep her hair and get all creepy?
No, because that's gross. That's gross. Yeah, no, I didn't do that.
But Jay, you know, Jay's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's always been solid with me. You know how this business we're in.
Yeah, there's a lot of like
this
great
guy,
guys and
this guy don't talk to that guy don't talk to this guy.
Thank you.
This group doesn't like that group.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, see, that's the thing.
Such
A lot of people
clique.
think. A lot of people think that like comedy is drama, and it's not. It's a clique, and that clique makes it drama.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like not really.
Yeah.
It's not like you're purposely starting it. It's just the clique, and then the rumors, and it's like you gotta defend yourself. And it's
But
like,
you know, I think comedy brings, because if you look at the nature of comedy, of what a comedian does, think how psychotic that is. You have to get up in front of perfect strangers and make them laugh and make them like you. How needy of a human being do you have to be to do that?
Yeah.
So as a comedian, everybody has a lot of issues, man. A lot of issues. Unless you start evolving and you start, basically dissecting yourself, your spiritualness, and then you maybe try to find a balance. But other than that, most comics don't, because they're too fucking lazy, man.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why there's a lot of bad guys in this business. But that being said, there's also a lot of good guys.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think a lot of the bad guys are the lazy people.
Oh, bro. Man. You know, I've put through, I'm putting 2 kids through college. I put my wife through college.
Yeah.
You know, we've had a home for forever. And, I mean, everything, it's been stand-up. Yeah. You know, and I've never been one of those guys who I wanted to be in movies. I hate acting.
You're about stand-up.
Yeah, I hate acting because, and I know, and I have actors that are buddies of mine, you know, and they love it, and they love the art of acting. Sure. But to me, it goes against everything I am, because okay, I'm a stand-up. Okay, I'm about to shoot another hour in October. You know,
really?
Yeah, and
holy Lord.
Yeah, and this one, I work so hard, bro. I was putting in 10-hour days. You know, I go to this Denny's by my house, and I go to the back, and I just sit there, and I will not let myself leave until I put in like the 8 hours, the 10 hours, and I'll have, and the waitresses know me. You know, they'll be like, Willie, I'm leaving. You got to pay breakfast, right? And I go, okay, I got you. You know, because you got to tip them out.
Yeah.
Or else, and then it'll be lunchtime. You know, can I get lunch? And before I know it, it's dinner.
Oh, you stay there that long.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I call it my office. There's not a lot of overhead, you know.
That's great.
That's interesting you do it at Denny's, because when I write, I'm like actually the same way. I mean, I don't put 8-hour days. I probably put an hour a day, and what I do is I go to a pool with a notepad, you know, and if I like the joke, I'll keep it in the binder. If not, I'll throw it in the pool. And then, like, once I throw it in the pool, I'll be like, fuck, that was a good joke. And then I'll go swimming in the pool.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it'll make me memorize what, like, is it worth diving into?
Okay, I'll tell you what, though, man. You got to...
That's quite a technique.
No, but read a book called Talent is Overrated.
Yeah.
Read a book called Talent is Overrated, and it'll change your work ethic.
Do you know who wrote that?
I don't know, but there's a
Amazon.
Amazon. If you Google it, there's a guy like a Olympian holding the disc in the front of it, like in the gold. That's the cover, right? I don't know the author, but it's a great book. What I'm trying to tell you is
Talent is overrated.
Talent is overrated. Is the minimum anybody put something to be successful.
Yeah.
The minimum you're gonna put is like 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
You know, so if you put in 1 hour, I coach comedians. I hate coaching, first of all, because when I do coach, it has to be very organic. Like, I don't say, hey, there's this class, you know. I get a comedian and I go, look, there's no bullshit here.
Yeah.
I'm going to teach you, because I teach people from I've heard of these classes and they tell me about them. All these cats tell me, I go, how was it? Tell me about it. And it's always like from the outside. Comedy's not from the outside, you know. Comedy's from the inside. First, I'll sit there and it's almost like the whole interview is about you, because I want to get to know who you are.
Exactly.
You know, when I know who you are, and I don't want no bullshit. You know, if your father made you, you know, suck his dick, I want to know about it. You know what I mean? I mean, if you were molested by a priest,
testimonials
or whatever, or if you're really extremely poor, where you know, ate a handful of rice a day, whatever it is, or you could have came from a well-to-do family, but there was no social interaction, because nobody is perfect, man.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody.
Exactly.
And anyways, when I get a gauge for who you are, then I could start helping you write for you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, but anyways, man, to me, comedy's is spiritual. Yeah. You know,
I
and you can't write unless you know yourself, because you're writing about yourself. Mm-hmm. So if this is why you get a lot of shitty comics, because they go on stage wanting to get away from themselves. So they tell these quick, corny jokes so the audience could like them. But the reality about comedy is that you're writing about yourself. So if you don't really know yourself, how can you write about yourself?
I totally agree with that, because like I see, you know, I mean, just because I write an hour a day doesn't mean I don't, you know, I go to clubs, I do like 3 to 4 shows a night, and I see these comics like you're saying, you know what I mean? They're not talking about themselves. And like that, to me, it's just not very interesting. Yeah.
Look, I'll tell you what, man. I ran into a comic, and what I hate is comics asking me about their act, because I'm going to tell them the truth. Yeah. You know, I was at a club. I'm not going to mention the comic's name. I was at the Improv. Let's say years ago. I don't want to say. This is 1,000 years, many years ago. So this comic, all these comics were there. We're all shooting shit and we're talking. And then this young comic goes like, "Hey, so what did you think of my act?" I go, "Do you want to hear the truth?" He goes, "Yeah, man." I go, "Look, dude, I'm not here to sugarcoat anything." I go, "Do you want to hear the truth?" He goes, I'd love to hear the truth. I go, "You fucking suck, bro." You know, I told him, I go, "You know your act?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Get rid of it." I go, "And write a new act," because he was writing very superficial and he was writing like the one-liner for the audience. Like, he wrote a joke, you know, I don't want to say the joke, because I'm going to kind of paraphrase a little, so we don't know who the comic is. Yeah. But he was, writing about his daughter being pregnant at 15, and then it got a corny laugh. But I go, really? Is that how you visualize your daughter when she's 15, or do you see her as an intelligent woman? You know, and he goes, "No, I see her as an intelligent woman." Then write from that perspective, man. And this is where comics are so lazy, because it's hard to make that funny. But you know how you make it funny? Work. and hours and just putting in the time. That's how you make it funny. And what these comics do, when they write, they sit down and okay, I'm gonna sit down and write something funny. No, you're gonna write something corny. That's when you write like that, you write something corny. You know,
just because it kills in an open mic doesn't mean it's gonna kill on the road, or
it might even kill on the road. Go to the Midwest, and there's a lot of hacky comedians making a living out of a lot of, in the ships. I work the ships, bro. Listen, when you got 2 kids in college, you don't turn down work, man. I've been on these ships, and they're called ship comics. Some of them. Yeah. And that's where they're at. They're there the cruise. And they, bro, talk about hacks. Man, I had a bad reputation on those ships because I would tell the comedians when they would get off stage, I go, bro, man, don't ever go to land with your act. They're gonna kick your ass, because it's a piece of everybody. Yeah. So anyways, man.
Well, you used to talk, in numerous interviews that you used to get like you were like the comedy police, you know what I mean? And,
I changed that a lot.
Yeah, so now you're just
I did. As a young guy, I was angry because, first of all, I was angry because of what I was saying earlier. We all have issues. Yeah. And my demons, was my temper. And once I realized and I read books and I went to therapy and I understood where this anger came from, then I can control it, or at least start to work with it. But when you don't know where something comes from, you can't control it because you're oblivious that you even have a problem. Yeah. So anyways, that was part of me being a dick. And the second part was I hated that comedians stole, because here I would know that how long it takes to write a joke, the process of taking it on stage, and then you go home and you listen to it, and then you rewrite it, then you go to another stage, you record it, you rewrite it. Finally, man, after all these times, then you got this beautiful diamond of a joke, and then here's this hack and comedian going, I'll lift that, and then I used to have a temper, man. I used to go up to comedians and just go, I was a dick. And I'm not gonna change anybody's lives, man. If people want to steal, they want to steal, and look at the comedians. There's a famous one that made a career out of stealing, and there's ones that are working, and there's some that aren't working. But there's nothing in this world I'm gonna do to keep people from stealing. It's as if I walk into like a clothing store and say nobody's ever gonna steal. Stop stealing. It's never gonna happen.
Well, do you believe in crisscrossing?
Yeah. Well, like thoughts that parallel thinking. Yeah, I believe in parallel thinking. Mm-hmm. I do, but sometimes
if it's like word for word,
if it's not word for word. If it's like Obama and Melania, their speeches.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? That was like, come on, man. You could have switched it up a little.
Yeah, that was really close.
That's too obvious, right? Like, no, we think alike. No, well, and usually you can. You know how you can always spot a bad comics, guys. If you do this. If you ever want to know if a comic is taking, if there's like 4 or 5 jokes, joke, suck, joke, and then one really good one, and then joke that sucks, joke that sucks, joke that sucks, joke that sucks, joke that, and one really good one. Yeah. It's like, all right, man. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a pattern there. Because if you're gonna write one good joke, you're probably gonna write some other pretty good ones. And anyways, man, but that was a long time ago, and I did have that reputation, bro. And I mean, now I just shake my head now.
Yeah, that's like the best thing, because like a comic took one of my jokes, and the thing is, like, I wasn't there, just friends told me and stuff, and I was like, you know what, maybe he crisscrossed parallel thinking, right. It's not, unless he does it in front of me, it's not worth getting upset, because then I also know a lot of people like to start hearsay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just
but there's a lot of crap that goes into it when you get mad, because then
it's not worth it.
You're wasting energy, because we all get energy to create every day. Yeah. And if you use it, it's almost like fuel that our body has, and if you use it being pissed, there goes your day, and you wasted a day. And then what happens is it's like a magnet, negative energy is magnetic.
Negativity.
So the next day you're gonna people that are pissed off are gonna cling to you. You just don't know it's happening, but it's happening.
Oh, God.
And what happens
That's
is
a great
by the end of the week, you're like this angry asshole, and you haven't written nothing. All you've told your friends is, "Man, can you believe that asshole stole my joke?"
Yeah.
And there went a whole week, a whole month, 6 months. You didn't even write. You were just too busy, pissed off. So
I was probably mad for maybe 20 minutes, and then I was just like, whatever. You know what I mean?
That's good, man.
Because it's like,
that's healthy.
I know I wrote it, and I know it's in my heart, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he can't tell it like Keith Reza, so it's like,
Yeah.
Plus, comedy's all about timing too, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I'm just like you, and I think when it's wrong, but I don't like get on people. Like I'm just not that type of person. I'm just like whatever.
Yeah, like you said, what I can't. What you can do is just control what we do. So
Yeah.
Exactly. And then another thing that I find fascinating is you shot your special in the club, which not a lot of comics are doing nowadays. It seems like they're doing it now.
Right.
But 2 or 3 years ago, it was all at theaters and stuff. Like I feature for Jeremy Hotz, and he told me his next.
I know Jeremy.
Yeah.
I don't know if
he's awesome.
Yeah.
And he said his next special, he's going to do it at a club. I love it. So
he should.
Yeah.
He should do it at a club. He's a club comic.
Yeah.
I truly believe, even though I might shoot my next one in theater, and I'm going to fight. I'm still having meetings with the producers. I think comedy's intimate, man. Yeah. Comedy is very. You're sharing your spirit, your soul with people in front of you, and when you get in a theater, I think it dissipates. The intimacy's gone. Now you're trying to perform like a rock star. Or something.
Yeah.
A rock star.
And comics, when we talk, it's more like, hey man, listen. All right, so this is what happened with my wife, man. All right. Yeah. I mean, you know what I mean? And you're like telling the story like you would tell your friends at a barbecue.
Exactly.
But you're telling a room.
Yeah.
And then I think it just gets so huge. I think when the room gets so huge, you're forced to make everything bigger with your body. That's why some comedians you can pull it off too, like a Cat Williams. He's very animated. He falls on the ground. You know what I mean? He screams. He rolls on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like an actual cat.
It'll work because I think those guys are theatrical. But I'm a big man. I'm a big fan of Lenny Bruce.
Oh, yeah, love Lenny Bruce.
Yeah, I'm big.
God.
And if you look at the way he was really more. He was more animated with his words.
Yes.
Than he was with his body.
George Carlin.
Intimate. Yeah. Bill Hicks.
Bill Hicks.
One. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Gallagher.
Perfect example.
No, you seem to me like you're a Richard Pryor type of comic. Like you really you seem to I just get that impression. Just you really you have that style. You know what I mean? You talk about the heart, what's real. You know what I mean?
Well, he is one of the guys that I look up to. I love how he made animated. Inanimate objects.
Inanimate.
Damn public schools. Inanimate objects, right? Inanimate objects speak. So which is where I get it from. When I make my penis talk. I don't know if you saw that.
No, that was in the theater one in San Bernardino at the
is that there? Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, when you have 3 hours, bro.
He's got 3 hours.
I'm on my 4th hour.
Yeah.
I'm on stage sometimes, and I'm thinking. There's been times that thanks. Have I said that before?
Wow,
or
that's amazing.
Or because you got 4 hours going clicking in your mind.
I can't imagine that. That blows my mind.
Well, we got some Twitter questions that we should probably at least acknowledge to some of the fans.
All right.
If I could find them. Do you do Twitter a lot? Are you a big tweeter?
I just got kicked out.
How do you get kicked out?
What'd you do?
Well, me and this guy were arguing about UFC.
I'm in a Twitter fight too with some dude.
Yeah, and I said Dana White, you should pay the fighters more. And the guy came back, goes, why don't you mind your own business? And I was like, fuck you, man. And then they kicked me off. I think because
for that?
Because I said fuck you, man.
I feel like people say much worse.
Yeah, but you know what? Well, here's why they Anyways, so I don't want to make that guy happy, because
Yeah, it's not.
That's like Leslie Jones.
I think
remember that she got kicked off. Leslie Jones?
No, she didn't know.
Yeah, she got somebody kicked off.
She got someone else kicked off. The Miles guy, because he said her movie Ghostbusters
was terrible.
Was terrible, and then she said that you're attacking me. And we should. That's
Yeah.
There's more. There's more to this story.
It was.
Well, she's back on Twitter now.
Yeah, but he got kicked off though.
Yeah,
permanently.
Yeah.
I thought.
Well, there were some really mean things said, but anyway, back to your.
Yeah, no, people can be mean, man.
Especially on Twitter.
People get Twitter balls.
Twitter balls.
It's like you got balls to do it on Twitter, but not to do it in your face. Anyways. Willie, you've been on the Wayans Brothers. Do you still keep in touch with any of them?
Oh no, not at all.
Oh.
Not at all. But when I see Sean, he's cool as hell, man.
Yeah. Because Sean's doing stand up too.
Yeah. They've always been doing stand up. That family. Actually, the Damon. When I was an open micer, I picked up some of my work ethic from him because I would see Damon work. This is years ago, bro. I used to see him. This is when he was doing his HBO specials.
Yeah.
He would work these jokes out on like Monday and Tuesday and Thursday, and they would literally suck. But every day they would suck less. And then come Friday and Saturday, he had already like sharpened them up, and sanded them down, and they were good to go. But I saw the way he did that. I was like, wow, that's a good method.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What did he do exactly?
Well, he would try out a bit and it would suck, but he wouldn't care,
And then he'd keep doing it and he'd sharpen it.
And then he would come up with the same bit the next week, and the following day, and it would just be reworded, where it was a little funnier,
like a sculpt.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly.
Well, see, Norm's like that too. Norm will do for 1 week. He'll do the same set. You know what I mean? He'll really sharpen it, and then the next week he'll just do a completely different set. And he'll sharpen that set.
Yeah.
And like Norm, I think he has like 24 hours of material because all he does is just talk.
Right.
And like I think there's certain comics that could just do that.
Yeah. No, I'm not one of them.
Yeah, but you have so many specials.
I know, but this is what happens to me, man. My ego.
Because you write like crazy.
My ego gets in the way, bro.
Yeah.
Because okay, who's the guy who said he quit comedy because Saturday night second show? Was that Steve Martin? I think
Steve Martin quit comedy because he already accomplished.
But there's a famous quote, and I'm pretty sure.
Oh, was it in Born Standing Up by Steve Martin?
No. He said, I quit comedy because of the second show Saturday night. I'm pretty sure it was Steve Martin who said it. But what I'm trying to get at is when you say, I do a lot of stuff. Sometimes Saturday night, second show, you got to remember, these people aren't the people that are there at 8 o'clock. To be there at 8 o'clock, man, you have to start getting ready around 5 or 6. Mm-hmm. You get preparing yourself. You're a pretty responsible person. You get there at 8 o'clock. 10 o'clock people are kind of late. You know what I mean? They're like, whatever. They'll go to a bar before they go to the comedy club, and they have a couple of cold ones or whatever, or they're drinking the car.
That's true.
When they get there, they're a little hammered, and a lot of the jokes that work on the 8 o'clock show will not work on the 10 o'clock show. So what I do sometimes, man, because I don't even want to think, because I'll get my work out on the first show, and second show, it's like the first show is a little tighter, it's a little tighter. Second show, I can look at the audience, they look buzzed, so I'll grab a beer, I'll have a shot, and then they'll say, take another one, and I'll say, all right, take another one. All right, we go, oh, man, that was crazy, man. Will you take another one? All right, I'll take another one. So before you know it, man, I'm 3 shots into it, and then, and I just, and I just start playing hits, man. I start playing the hits, because I don't want to think. Who wants to work that hard? So, and they don't remember. They won't remember. A lot of those people from the second show don't remember, man. They were just like, man, you're always different. They're all the same shit. But the first show, the 8 o'clock people know. The 8 o'clock people, man, they're there to hear material. And by the way, I made the mistake when I was younger. Okay, not too long ago I did it, but I ain't gonna lie. But I've done it where for whatever reason I got a wild hair up my ass and I would start drinking. I did this like 6 months ago at Tommy T's in Sacramento.
Oh, I love that club.
Yeah, and Tommy ripped me a new one, man, because and he had every right to, you know. A buddy of mine shows up to my hotel room, right? My old radio boss
from the Sacramento.
Yeah, from Sacramento. Yeah. So you know, this guy's a old school white boy, man, and he's drinking whiskey. You know, white people, we drink whiskey. I'm not a whiskey drinker, but when in Rome, you know. So I'm taking shots. I'm taking whiskey shots, and then I'm feeling buzzed, man. I'm feeling good, you know. And then so you gotta imagine, I took a few shots of whiskey. It's first show, and then I'm going, you know what? I'm a professional drinker. Hey, can I get a shot up here? So now I get a shot and a beer, right? Now I guess I'm 6 drinks into it, maybe 7, and I'm slurring, you know, and it's the first show, and remember I told you those people are more attentive,
they're
you know,
attentive, sure.
and they're going to email,
Yeah.
you know. Those people, you know, 10 o'clock people just give you the finger on the way out, you know, right? You fucking alcoholic, you know. But 8 o'clock people, man, they sit there and email, and you know, and then they'll get in line, you know, and complain somewhere. Anyways, okay, so I ruined their show, right? The 8 o'clock show because I was buzzing, right? So then now comes the 10 o'clock show.
Yeah.
Dude, in my mind, I thought like, listen, man, I'm a professional drinker, and ain't shit gonna happen, you know. So I get on stage, I gotta get a shot. Oh man. Okay, this is where it went wrong. I'm usually pretty good with hecklers, but there was this lady, she yelled out, she said, dude, you know, why don't you tell jokes? We don't care about you drinking, right? I usually have witty comebacks, but all I had was like, fuck you, bitch, right? That was like the cool, I don't know why. I was as clever as I could get, you know? And then the husband goes, don't talk to my wife like that. I said, well, you tell that bitch to shut the fuck up. Now he wanted to fight me. Security came. So it was a Friday night. You could ask Tommy about this. So it was Friday. Man, it was like being in high school, right? I get a call the next morning, and I see it's Tommy. I'm like, oh shit, I know something bad happened, man. And Willie, what the hell's wrong with you, man? You don't want to work my club anymore? I go, no, bro, I do, man. What happened, man? Right? I'm acting like I don't know, man. And he goes, well, dude, you know, Willie, I know you get buzzed in the second show, but you got hammered for both shows, man. Come on, man. What bullshit is that? You know, I don't know, Willie. I don't even want to talk to you, man. And he hung up. And then I talked to the manager, you know, at the club. And she's like, he said he's not going to book you again. I was like, oh, shit. So anyways.
He'll book you again with this Netflix special.
No, I've been back.
Okay.
I just saw him in Pleasanton like a month ago. But I had to like tell him, hey, bro, man, I'm fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I think everybody's allowed to say that, right?
Yeah.
Listen, if God exists, let's say God exists, he should be able to say I fucked up a lot, right? Because he says God's perfect. You know, I always say God's perfect. How come this guy's born with no arms? And where's his perfectness?
Amen.
Right? And then you see another guy is born with 3 arms, which is really fucked up, right?
What happened here?
Right? I always thought about that. Like a guy born with no arms, he's a guy with three arms, right? He's like, that's fucked up, you know? Right? Like, give me one.
But no, I've actually gotten people to complain about me at a club. And it was on the second show as well. Yeah. What happened was, this actually happened maybe 2 weeks ago. I had a huge cold, you know? Mm-hmm. So I was on really, really strong cough medicine.
Yeah, sure you were.
Yeah. And, no, I wasn't.
You're taking drugs, Dick. I had a cold and
No.
Let's put all these disclaimers, man. Is your mom listening? Or
no. I don't do drugs. But I was on this cough medicine, and like 3 people walked out, and then the manager told me, and they're like, "Congratulations, you've been here for several years. This is the first time anyone ever walked out on you." And I was like, "Oh, that's good." He's like, "That means you're doing something, right?"
Right.
So I was like, "Oh, okay."
Keep taking that medicine.
Cough medicine.
Yeah. Well, no, I got the cough cough cured a couple of days ago.
Where you were? Was it going around?
jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
No, hey, listen. People walk out on me all the time, especially religious people. I mean, come on. First thing I say, hey guys, maybe there's no God. Oh man, everybody tightens up right away. You know. I mean, think about
that's true.
Think about that line. I was in Kentucky, and they that's when they yelled at me. That was I don't know if I did it on the special or not, but they yelled at me. I was in Kentucky, and the guy was a good old boy in the back, and he goes, "You need to read the good book." And I said, "You need to read a couple good books."
Now, I have a question about your special when you filmed it, because you got heckled by this guy who was talking about his daughter. Was was that?
No, that was organic, man.
Yeah, was that?
Yeah.
I know that was organic, but did you? But it's so interesting that you left that in the special because it was just so funny, you know?
Oh, bro, there's some stuff that we left out that I wanted in there.
Oh, really?
Because I have a dark sense of humor.
Yeah, I do too.
And there's a part in there where this guy's talking during my show, and he's like to my right, and I go up to him and it's like, no. I go, hey, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? And it gets quiet. I mean, no, quiet.
Yeah.
And I'm going, are you out of your fucking mind, man? Oh, look at these fucking cameras here, man. I'm paying for all this shit. And you want to talk to me right now? Because the guy wanted to have a conversation, you know? I go, really? You think I'm going to stop everything to converse with you, dude? You think that I got, for the last 4 or 5 years, got all my material ready so you can be in the front and I could talk to you? I go, you're a fucking asshole, man. I go, you ruin it for everybody. I said, I'm not even in a good fucking mood now. And it took me like 2 minutes, like, because I went and then, but anyways, that's edited out.
That should have been left in at the end for like a warning.
I wanted it.
I like it. That's awesome.
You wanted it.
But that's not in there.
That's great.
That's edited out.
So,
Well, is there anything else you want to promote? Because we just got the light.
Wow,
So
are you kidding me?
yeah, it goes
Yeah,
by
we can
fast
time
when you're
out.
having
Too much fun.
no, just thank you for having me. Listen,
Dude.
your people can Facebook. I got a fan page.
Yeah,
Okay.
but not Twitter because you're kicked off.
No, I'm on the Twitter, brand new one.
Oh.
It's the handle is at Willie Barcena, and then the number 1 next to it.
Willie Barcena, number one.
Yeah.
I'm number one.
They'll never catch on.
Yeah, right. So that's the new one.
And your special's on Netflix.
And Netflix, yeah. For those of you guys, man, if you're
5-star it, right?
yeah, man,
Yeah.
please,
Immediately.
people. And if you're politically correct, if you're easily offended, you're not gonna dig it. But if you love, looking at life from different angles, I feel you'll like the special. It's called The Truth Hurts, and I want to thank you guys for having me.
Thank
man.
you, Willie.
Thanks for doing it.
Yeah,
Tom.
man.
It was awesome, man.
Great.
Thanks, guys.
And so the Netflix, it's called Willie Barcena. The Truth Hurts. It's the funniest Netflix special out right now, and I watched it and I really agree.
Check it out.
Thank you, man.
Check it out.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, thanks, guys, and
Man.
don't forget to log on to www.thestandup.net, as that is what sponsored this episode of Reza Riffs. Enter your email address for a free copy of this month's magazine. I think Willie's going to be on it next month.
Oh.
And
Yeah, I'm gonna be on the cover.
yeah,
Awesome.
Willie will be on the cover.
that's what the guy told me.
Pretty cool.
And
That is
Oh,
very
man.
cool.
so when you download the episode, you enter your email address, and in the email subject, you enter Reza. And what they'll do is they'll put your email into a drawing for 2 free tickets for a weekend in Las Vegas. So
Nice.
yeah, that's cool. And that's just for Reza Rift fans.
No, that's real cool.
Yeah.
You should say Reza.
It's
So
Reza.
Reza. It is Reza.
Yeah.
Reza.
Yeah.
You know what that means, right? It's like laughter.
Oh,
Spanish.
Yeah, Reza.
Really?
Reza.
Yeah,
All right, change the name.
nobody's ever told you that means laughter.
no.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
Spanish.
That's awesome, man.
That's so
I never told
awesome.
him.
Oh. You never told me. All right, guys. Well, follow Willie on Facebook and
Yeah.
Twitter. Watch his special. Alan Lee, anything you want to plug away before we head out?
He's inspired me. Willie has inspired me to write now. I swear to God, I'm going
Denny's?
I swear to God, I'm going to Denny's this week. I'm going to spend at least 2 hours there.
Willie's like, oh great, I'm gonna lose my spot.
What about you, Megan?
What about me?
Anything you're doing this weekend?
No, I don't think anything interesting.
beach?
Oh.
Yeah, just the beach. It's nice and warm out. If
that
anyone wants to
sounds
come
great.
paddleboarding with me, they're welcome.
I'll be busy.
Always looking for
I'll
a
be
buddy.
busy at
Yeah.
Dennis.
That's healthy, right? That's like a lot of cardio and all that.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
You put your music out
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I would love to go, but I'm in Fresno.
So relaxed.
Fresno?
I love it.
Are you?
Yeah.
But the school or is there
No,
something
they have bars out there. I'm on a triple run this weekend.
Oh,
so.
My.
Anything I could do for $10.
Do me a favor, dude. Tell that guy I said hi, will you?
I will for sure, pal.
Okay.
All right, guys. I'm Keith Reza. Thanks for listening and stuff, and we'll see you next week. And
All right.
Alan Lee always says,
Thank you.
You're listening to Reza Riffs with Keith Reza and Alan Lee, right here on LA Talk Radio.